All right, Nikki, you've been in the business since 2009. She brought all of Atlanta with her. And 114 units closed last year. The goal is 125. You've been in one-on-one coaching since 2023. Systems of real estate graduate, also a sales rocket graduate. Talk to us about your top 3 sources of business.
So last year, our top 3 sources were Google, Internet Leads, which is our Boomtown account, and then database, which is our #1 source.
Database is #1. All right. Obviously, we've had a lot of people talk about database. Before we get into database, tell me what you're doing with Google specifically.
So Google was something that I really wanted to work on for a very long time. It took us a couple years to get there because we knew that we were being interviewed when we didn't know we were being interviewed.
That's right. That's the pre-appointment
exactly
of
right.
plaques, right?
That's exactly right. So a couple years ago, I told the team, I really want to work on our Google reviews. We had like 20. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And so we worked on gift cards with our clients, trying to get them to leave Google reviews, and that was not effective. We found out that people didn't really care to leave a review for $25.
Yep.
But what did work was incentivizing the agents. And so we made a plan that if they would get X amount of Google reviews, they could earn their lodging to this event.
Okay, that works.
And it worked. It paid in spades.
Awesome.
So we've done that a couple years and significantly increased our Google reviews. So that was step #1.
Yep, so got the reviews up, step 1 on Google.
Yes,
What
and
was step 2?
specifically, Jeff, had them mention the agents by name because I wanted the agents to have that online presence in our Google reviews.
That's right.
So that was big.
Yep.
Step 2 then happened last year, and that's where the impact of last year came in. We got our business Google verified.
Okay.
So that's a process with Google where you turn in your licenses, your insurance, background checks,
Yep.
and then you get that logo when someone searches you on Google, and consumers know that Google has vetted your business.
Yeah, and consumers obviously trust Google.
That's right.
Okay, so step 2 was getting Google verified. And that's just a matter of Googling. You probably just Google, how do I get Google verified?
That's exactly
and
right.
it'll show you the instructions on how to do that. All right,
That's
so you
right.
did that. That was
That's
step 2. What was step 3?
And then we became a Google local provider.
Google local provider. All right,
So
I
that
like the
is-
order here.
That's right. And that's pay-per-click.
Okay.
And so the really cool thing about that is that you only pay for leads that are actually really leads. So if someone is
Nice.
clicked on your ad and they want to sell you their housekeeping services, you don't pay for that.
Got it.
So last year we got 208 calls.
That's big.
It is.
And your team is how many agents?
5.
5 agents,
Yes.
208 calls. That's
Yes.
massive.
Out of those 208, though, 39 of them were actually people looking to transact.
Which is still good.
We converted 14 of those.
Wow.
And so for the first year working, really that whole process got finished in April. And so from April to December, that's the kind of result we have. And
Yeah.
we know that we're going to be able to build on that moving forward.
That's awesome. That's really big. So first of all, clap for that because that's impressive. Second of all, if I'm in the audience, I'm not really sure what Google Verified is. Do you buy zip codes? Like, how do you control the amount of volume of people that click on your ad, if you will?
You basically set your budget with Google. So you tell them what you want your ad spend to be, and then they work that.
Got it. Okay.
And
so
you can tell them the areas that you work. So you let them know the areas you work, you let them know what your ad spend is, and they take it from there.
And last I checked, and if you're comfortable sharing it, last I checked, it's not that expensive. I mean, what are you paying per month, if you don't mind?
Our ad spend is $1,500, and I think
Yeah.
like 1 month we spent $800, 1 month we spent $400. So
Yeah.
that's the beautiful thing about it is
If
that
they don't
you're really
click, you don't pay.
That's
Yeah,
right.
That's awesome. And yeah, I was going to say, I think most people that are having success with Google Verified none of them are over $1,500 or $2,000 a month. You know, most of them aren't over $1,000 a month. So that's awesome. So take us to your #1 source of business, although that one seems like it's quickly rising as well. But take us to your #1 source of business, database. What is unique about your database value proposition? How is it an area of seller and buyer leads for you guys?
So we have a mantra on the team that we want to be there when the yes happens. So when somebody decides that they're ready to buy or sell, or when they're ready to refer somebody that's ready to buy or sell, we know that we have to be there when that yes happens.
Okay.
And so we have a system that we've been working for a very long time. We send an email on the 7th and the 21st of every single month. We have a mail piece in mailboxes on the 15th.
Okay.
We call 4 times a year. We text 4 times a year. We send a message on social media.
Well, hold on a second. So I heard 7th and 21st, and that
Yes.
is the email.
Correct.
On the 15th, what is received on the 15th?
A direct mail piece in their mailboxes.
A direct mail piece in their mailbox. All right, keep going for those that are writing that down.
And the reason that we do all these different things is because everybody responds to a different channel.
Yep.
So they might delete our email, but they'll read our mail piece.
Okay, good. And then 4 calls, you said, next.
4 calls, so
Yep.
1 call a quarter.
Yep.
1 text message a quarter, because they may not answer the phone, but they'll read our text.
Yep. Okay.
4 direct messages on social media.
All right.
4 handwritten note cards.
Okay.
That also land in their mailbox at various times.
Yep.
And then 4 pop buys.
4 Popeyes. All right.
Yes,
So
and it's-
Popeyes have been around the industry for decades. Tell us how those look today.
So kind of cheesy, but they do work. So for instance, in October, we dropped pumpkins by, and we have this organized
So
by letter
instead of
the
making them come to
alphabet.
you went to them.
That's exactly right. So we dropped pumpkins at their door, and then we did a pumpkin carving contest, and we gave away a gift card for that.
So they had to tag you,
That's right.
which means you're getting exposed to their social networks.
Correct.
And that's how they get entered for a drawing. Okay.
Correct.
I'm tracking. What else?
So we did hot cocoa mugs in December and January. We'll do lottery tickets. Thank you for that
Yeah.
idea, by the way, in March. And so just little tiny
Little things of value.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah.
We
And
also-
have you been doing that for years, or is this something you've been doing over the last couple of years?
The pop by piece, or the whole database system, we've been doing consistently since 2013.
Got it.
The pop by piece we've recently added just because it's another face-to-face that we get.
So the frequency has been there, but mixing it up what you're doing or updating the value proposition is essentially what's happening now.
Yes, and we also do 4 client events, and we analyze those every year, but they have been consistent in our program every year for years.
Yeah, awesome. One of the things that you said to me on the phone that you think is unique about your business is you coach your agents towards their unreal life. Obviously, this audience is no stranger to that term, especially after this week, even if it was their first event. What do you mean by coaching them to their unreal life?
The first time I ever heard Kate Simon speak, it was in the fall of 2022, and she was teaching a room of leaders, and she said, are you asking this very simple question? What does success look like for you in this season of your life? And I had not, and by the way, whenever I heard that, I had just found out that our oldest daughter was expecting and I was going to become a grandmother. And so all of a sudden, success in this season of my life looked very, very different. And I wasn't asking my agents that direct question. And so I went back and I decided that we were going to talk about production and we were going to talk about units and volume and all those very important things.
Yep.
But we were also going to talk about what success looked like so that they would be living their unreal life.
Yeah.
And so as we've been working that into our coaching, 2 really quick but amazing success stories.
Yeah, please.
Is that last year, one of our agents in August met her goal, and one of her goals was to have a reserve in her bank account that she had never met before. In August, she met her production goals and already had that reserve set aside, which is, and she said, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
And that's unreal, right?
That is right. Yeah.
Another one of our agents, not only did she exceed her goal, but she spent 3 weeks in Portugal with her family and still had a business to come home to.
Yeah.
That's living an unreal life.
It sure is.
And so that's super important. We're really proud of that.
So you shifted from, don't get me wrong, I know production is the focus. Of course, it's the foundation of the Unreal Life formula, the money part at the bottom. But that was it sounds to me like that was really the only thing you were talking about was the business plan and production and how many homes you want to sell. And you flipped it to, no, I need to understand your Unreal Life, and then we can work backwards from there. Tell me what your Unreal Life looks like, right?
That's right, because we all get excited about the words and the accomplishments. Those things flash up on the screen for a moment, but the memories we make, those things last a lifetime, and we remember them for a lifetime.
Yeah, and I very much know that by you embracing that side of it will lead to agents wanting to be with you for life and will cause others to say, you know what, that's the organization I want to affiliate with. So, question for you. Mindset is something that I know you focus a lot on with your team. In fact, it came up when I asked the question, how has Glover U impacted you? So can you share with us a little bit about that?
Yes, so, you guys know we had a challenging year last year, a pretty big event with the NAR settlement. And we had 2 choices, be derailed by it or be empowered by it. And we chose to be empowered by it.
Yep.
And so when we came in the office every day, we asked ourselves one simple question: what do we know today?
Yeah.
And what we knew today was that we were the best in the business,
Yep.
that we had all the tools and resources that the people that relied on us needed, and that we needed to go out and win.
Yeah.
And that was the theme that we carried. What do we know today?
Yeah.
What do we know today? What's the next best step that we can take today?
There's a lesson in that has nothing to do with the NAR settlement or last year, and that is, why are you so worried about what could be when we should just be looking at what's happening right now?
That's right.
Everyone's always thinking about what could be. I mean, I read some of the stuff that comes through my inbox from these other companies and these other conferences that are always trying to predict the future and what's going to be next and who's going to put us out of business. Every ounce of energy you put towards thinking about that is another second or another minute that a competitor in your market is taking a listing or sale from you. So my message would be, knock that off. Of course, you've sent that message to your team, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And we won in a big way last year.
Yeah.
We were super excited about it.
Awesome. Love it. Let's hear it for her. Nice job.